Alright, so that no one thinks I'm a nasty fucker, I want to go ahead and just say the reason why I'm wearing the same clothes in this video as I was in the last is because they were shot on the same day. You will just be seeing this video on Monday. So, yes, this is the same day. I am not a nasty fucker that lives in the same clothes every fucking day. And I'm sorry for the camera that keeps shaking. It's pissing me off. Today's topic is going to be Batman Forever. Now, this is a very interesting film to me because this was my favorite Batman film ever when I was a kid. I liked this. This was my favorite Batman film. And my fiance, Holly, suggested that I do this for Comic Book Movie Month, and I had no plans to because I hadn't seen this film since I was a kid, and I almost kind of forgot about it. But she suggested that I watched it and reviewed it for Comic Book Movie Month, so I gotta thank her for suggesting it because the question with this film is this still my favorite Batman movie? Yes, it still is. I know what you might be thinking, oh, how could you like this better than the two Tim Burton Batmans, or how could you like this better than the Dark Knight trilogy? And, well, I really enjoy the Tim Burton Batman films a lot, the two with Michael Keaton. And I hated the film after this, Batman and Robin. Oh god, it was bad. Now, the Dark Knight trilogy, they're good, okay? They are good. I've been trolled, though, for years because apparently I hate the Dark Knight trilogy just because it's not my favorite movie trilogy of all time. Okay. I like them. They are good. They're just not my favorite. The thing I never could stand about the Dark Knight trilogy is that everything's so grim and serious when there's a guy in a bat costume running around fighting crime. Everything's got to be so grim and serious. Everything's so grim and everybody's acting exactly as I am acting right now, serious and completely devoid of any humor. Which there are some jokes in the Dark Knight trilogy, but it just doesn't stick that well for me. But yes, I liked them. Okay, so I've gotten comments on my Facebook, YouTube. You don't like the Dark Knight trilogy. You don't like the Dark Knight trilogy. You suck. You're stupid. You don't know anything. Well, I like them. I like the Dark Knight trilogy. So putting that to rest, it's just not my favorite. Why Batman Forever is my favorite comic book movie? Well, Val Kilmer as Batman is my favorite live-action Batman because he, to me, is the closest to Kevin Conroy from the Batman animated series as I think a live-action Batman could get, personally. Val Kilmer is very close to Kevin Conroy. He's not exactly there. He's not as perfect as Kevin Conroy, but Val Kilmer puts on a good show as Batman. I really, really liked Val Kilmer. And he's a good Bruce Wayne as well. Like, he's not... I would definitely say that Christian Bale is probably the best Bruce Wayne, but Val Kilmer is probably a close second to Christian Bale as Bruce Wayne. But that's just me. He's a very good Bruce Wayne, though, Val Kilmer. There is some real bad shit in this movie. I want to go ahead and just get that out of the way now. The bad stuff in this movie. Bat nipples. Now, shit looks like crap. And Nicole Kidman. I like Nicole Kidman as an actress, and she plays her character just fine. It's just, I felt in this movie her character didn't really serve a purpose to the story. I felt like you could have taken Nicole Kidman's character just completely out of the film, and everything would have been exactly the same. It would have been the same movie, just without Nicole Kidman. I don't feel like her being the love interest of Bruce Wayne and Batman really served a purpose in this story, but and you could argue, this is subjective, this is actually stuff that doesn't bother me, but it bothers a lot of people. They don't think the CGI and all that holds up today, and it doesn't, but the thing with that is, for me, is it adds to that campy, comic booky, silly tone of Batman Forever. And it's just, I enjoyed, like, the CGI shots of Gotham. They look like shit, but you know what? They kind of have a special place in my heart. I don't really mind it. And that kind of goes into the humor and the campiness. This movie is campy as hell, so this movie is not for everybody. If you want a grim, realistic, gritty take on a superhero or Batman or Superman or what the fuck ever you're into, this movie's not for you. And there are people out there that don't like this movie, but there are people like me out there that do like this movie. And that's perfectly fine if you don't like it. I really enjoy the humor. Like Batman with the whole chicks dig the car with the Batmobile, and the Batmobile looks awesome in this movie. I love the Batmobile in this movie. There's even a, what was it? Alfred suggests that Batman should take a sandwich with him on his little crime fighting, his expedition there, and Batman's like, "Oh, go through the drive-thru." Shit like that's fun. I know I did kind of more of a Christian Bale Batman impersonation, but you know, you get the point. I want to talk about Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face and Jim Carrey as the Riddler. I'm conflicted here because I was not a fan of Tommy Lee Jones' portrayal as Two-Face, but I was a fan of Jim Carrey's portrayal of the Riddler. They were both over the top and goofy. It didn't work for me. I didn't hate Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face. It's just, it didn't work for me with Two-Face as much as it did with the Riddler. I do feel like the Riddler is the main villain in this movie. From my perspective, he is the main villain in this movie, and Two-Face is kind of like the side villain. So Two-Face didn't work for me as much as the Riddler did. There's some people would also say that they're just too crazy and there's no originality. I'm like, no, the Riddler feels like the Riddler in this. I could understand Two-Face, but the Riddler feels like the Riddler to me. I thought the costume was a little strange, but I don't mind it. But that's just me. All the acting in the movie is good, even from Nicole Kidman, which I said you could have taken her out and everything would have been the same. But all the acting's really good. The way Gotham City looks in the practical shots, where it's all practical, looks amazing. It looks like Gotham City. It looks dark but colorful at the same time, and it really works in this movie for me. Like, really, really works. I just really, really, really enjoy the Gotham atmosphere. In this film particularly. I thought it was really good in the Tim Burton ones, but Joel Schumacher, man, he had his shit together when he was doing the whole Gotham thing in this movie. Joel Schumacher's a great filmmaker, too. I don't even hate him for Batman and Robin because he made this movie, and I really like this movie. The fight scenes are actually really good in this movie as well. Like, they got that typical, like, that 90s kind of, like, whenever they fight, it kind of slows down a little bit, but it's choreographed really nicely. Especially the scene when Robin steals the Batmobile, and he's driving around and he saves that girl from the group of street thugs or street whatever they are. That's also another thing I like about Gotham is there's always bad people out there doing bad stuff, and that's kind of like how it was in the Batman Arkham games and the comic books, and even the Batman animated series. So I do think that this movie is really loyal to the source material while being a fun movie at the same time. Like I said, the fight scene with Robin and those bad guys trying to save that girl was actually done really well. Like, it was campy, but it was well choreographed and well shot. But that's just my personal opinion. The storyline, I mean, the Riddler gets rejected by Bruce Wayne, and it pisses him off because he's crazy, and he develops this fucking device that is like reads people's minds and all that, and he can like see people's thoughts, and it's cheesy, but it's fun. This movie's really fun, and I'm not making this some big long video. I'm getting ready to start wrapping this up, but this movie's a lot of fun if you're into cheesy, campy comic book movies, you know, and you haven't seen this, watch this one. If you're into more gritty, realistic, darker takes on superheroes, then this movie's not for you at all. But I can appreciate the grim and the grit every now and then, but I like to have fun with comic book movies. Like, they're just silly concepts as it is, so why are we not embracing that? Like, not everything has to be all dark and serious, you know? You can have a comic book movie and have fun with it, but yeah, you know, like I said, if you're not into that, then this movie's not for you. But this movie was definitely for me. I had a couple flaws with it this time around, but it's still a really good Batman movie in my personal opinion. So what did you guys think of Batman Forever? If you liked it, you hated it, you thought it was okay, meh, you liked The Dark Knight or Batman vs. Superman or the Tim Burton one's better, even the 60s one with Adam West, which was really good too. Just let me know what you guys think in the comments. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'm out. Peace.